Y'all, welcome back to the channel, the ODJ Effect. My name is ODJ, and today we'll be talking about episode 3 of season 3 of House of the Dragons. And this was a pretty good episode. It wasn't anything too crazy, no crazy battles. You know what I mean? Nothing insane. It was more of a setup episode for next episode. We had this episode was a little bit scattered. There was a lot of different plot lines going on, a lot of back and forth to different things going on right now in Westeros. Um, so yeah, I'll just talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, all that good stuff. So as you can see, Rhaenyra is making a lot of bad decisions, man. She's making a lot of bad decisions. The show is trying their hardest to make Rhaenyra seem like she's like a morally a morally sound and good person, but like it's kind of hurting the show a little bit. She's making a lot of bad decisions. You know what I mean? She's cracking under pressure. It's not looking good for Rhaenyra right now. But the episode does start off with ORMUND Hightower. And I really like ORMUND, man. He's a good addition to the show. He's like a breath of fresh air, honestly. He's a schemer. He's a manipulator. You know, he's like a snake in the grass. He's slick, and you don't really see him. You know what I mean? He's really smooth with it. Um, but yeah, basically, him and the Hightower army took over Tumbleton. They basically invaded Tumbleton. Um, there's a scene that happens where basically one of the guards was about to grape one of the Hugh Hammer's wife. He was about to grape Hugh Hammer's wife, and he gets struck. They basically, I think it was her father that hits the guard, right? And then they get brought in front of Ormond and Daron. And basically, this scene was basically to throw you off, making you think that Ormond is some kind of morally righteous person. Because you see at the end that he's completely unhinged, right? So in the scene, he's like, "Oh, you struck and broke that woman's arm, or you broke that woman's arm, and you tried to touch the other girl. Okay, you're getting your shit pushed in, and you're getting your arm broken, right?" So that's that. And Daron's like, you can see on Daron's face, he doesn't agree with any of this. Like, he doesn't agree with any of this that's going on. And in the books, I believe that, yeah, Daron is like the most morally righteous out of the three sons, Aemon and Aegon. He's the most level headed out of all of them, right? So you can see he's already uncomfortable with what's all going on, right? And then back in King's Landing, um, Hugh Hammer and Off White, the two dragon seeds, basically this is all set up for them to basically betray Rhaenyra. You can see it easily. Like they don't agree with what's going on. Um, and you can just see like all, especially Ulf, like from jump, you could tell that Ulf he's just not like, he does whatever the fuck he wants to do. And you can see when Rhaenyra gives him specific orders, like, you can't. He was trying to pardon some of his homies, his old homies, and Rhaenyra's like, I'm not having any of this, right? So she's like, no, your requests are denied. Like, that's not happening. And that's just that. I guarantee you, next episode is it's gonna be done. Like, they're gonna be like, all right, this is enough. Like, we can't stand by Rhaenyra anymore, right? And Corlys is going off to take out the pirates from that are left from the Triarchy. He's going up to clean that mess. He's basically trying to he's basically trying to he's basically trying to cope with losing all of his treasure, right? Like Alan says, like, anger can't be resolved with the blade or something. He said something along those lines. So Corlys has gone off to take out those pirates and clean that mess up. So Alan is basically taking his place, kind of, in court for Corlys, right? And next was the plot line with Daemon. The plot line with Daemon goes to the Vale to get some gold from Lady Aaron. So he gets some gold. But then he goes back to Caraxes, and Caraxes is like acting up and shit. He's like, "Listen, I smell a dragon. I smell a dragon down here." So basically, Damon loses full control of Caraxes. He's like, "Yo, you're going the wrong way," and he doesn't even give a shit, right? So Caraxes takes Damon to some cave where he finds Reyna and Sheep Stealer, right? And Damon's like, Reyna, like, what are you doing here? Like, you were supposed to be with my sons as their guardian on their way to Pentos. And she's like, what could I teach them? Like, what was I supposed to teach them? And that's not even the point. Like, you were supposed to stay with them and do your duty. But she's so consumed with, like, I don't know if it's envy is the word I would use, but she talks about how she's always been the Targaryen with no dragon. Like, she's always felt left out. So the moment she had the chance to try to tame a dragon, she took it. And Damon's like, listen, he's like, listen, Rhaenyra thinks you're the one that killed Jace. Like, Rhaenyra thinks you're the reason why Jace is dead. Like, this is a complete mess. And he's like, listen, come back with me. We'll explain to her what happened. Which I think the way the show's going, I think if they did that, I don't think Rhaenyra would hang or off with her head Reyna. I think she would be kind of understanding. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But she's like, nah, I can't do that. Like, I'm gonna stay out here. I'm gonna live in exile. This is what I have. This is the price I have to pay for my mess up, right? So she's taking some accountability. She's taking some accountability, right? And then she flies off, and Damon's like, "Fuck it." So Damon sees a little. Damon sees the sheep guy, the sheep herder or whatever you want to call him, just below him, and basically what this guy does, yo, Damon is a savage, bro. Like, Damon kills the fucking sheep guy, and he takes his head back to fucking King's Landing, and he walks into the meeting. He puts his head on the fucking table and the gold, and he's like, yeah, this is the rider of Sheep Stealer. And Rhaenyra's completely shook, like, what? Like, who is this motherfucker? And Mysaria knows Damon more than Rhaenyra. Like, if Rhaenyra doesn't know that this is just a whole ruse, that she's completely oblivious. But Mysaria instantly knew that this was not the actual fucking rider. Like, once Damon's walking out, she looks at him and she's like, whose head is that? So she already knows that that's not his fucking head, right? That shit was funny, bro. That shit was fucking hilarious. Cause it's like she already knows that this nigga be up to some bullshit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and I have a good feeling that Rhaenyra's eventually gonna find out. She has to find out eventually, right? There's no way she doesn't find out soon. So there's that. What else happened? Aegon and Larys are still traveling. So Aegon finds his dragon or whatever. Finds his dragon. He's touching his dragon and shit. And he says, "Oh, he's alive," which I think I don't know if the showrunners are gonna kill off his dragon. If they do kill off his dragon, holy shit, bro, there's gonna be a riot. Because if y'all know the books, right? But I don't want to spoil it like that. But yeah, like if they kill off his dragon for real, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. But so yeah, they're traveling through and shit or whatever. And basically they run into some people, and basically Aegon has to act like he's still a peasant, right? He has to act like a complete peasant, and he's not rocking with it. Like, there was a scene where the guy said, basically Aegon walked up to this guy, right, and he taunted him. He's like, listen, he's like, I'll have your tongue cut out, and then the nigga pulls out a knife and just puts it to his neck, and then Aegon's like, let's not be hasty. I was like, bro, you just threatened him, bro. Why are you surprised that he did that? You just fucking threatened the guy, right? Like, that shit was like, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Aegon? Like, if Aegon didn't have Larys by his side, he would be dead by now. Like, he would be dead by now. It's like, bro, Larys, you're so lucky you have Larys, bro. Like, Larys is the ultimate schemer. You know what I mean? He's the ultimate schemer. He's level-headed. Like, he's a tactician, straight up. even though he's crippled. But yeah, what else happened in the episode? Helena is pregnant, obviously. Um, yeah, Helena is pregnant. If you guys read the books, you already know who that baby's gonna be and how he plays a part in the absolute madness to come. So Helena is pregnant. So honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like they're gonna have to keep that under wraps from Rhaenyra because if Rhaenyra finds out that Helena's pregnant with another heir, that's gonna cause some madness too. So there's that, and then Aemon is still somewhere. He's somewhere in the castle, right? He has to be somewhere in the castle. These guys just couldn't find him. Like that witch hid him somewhere. Um, so yeah, and people think Aemon is also just. People think Aemon is either dead or he's just like fled somewhere, right? So there's that, and then the episode ends with Ormond and Daeron. Basically, Daeron is with his dragon, and then Ormond brings in the Hugh Hammer's wife's father, I believe, the guy that struck the Hightower guard for trying to grape his daughter, right? So he brings him in, and then Daeron's like, "Well, what happened? I thought you let him go. Like, all he was doing was protecting his daughter because he struck a woman, right?" And then Ormond's like, "Listen," he's like, "Yo, he struck a Hightower, so you have to deliver justice. He's an extension of you, right?" Absolute savage. Ormond might be a goat, bro. Ormond might be a goat, man. Typical Game of Thrones shit right here, bro. Typical Game of Thrones shit, man. I love it. So Daeron has to do it. So he ends up stabbing him. I thought he was just gonna cut off his head, but he ends up stabbing him in the chest, brutal. And then Tessarion burns him, and then he eats him, right? And then that was the episode. So Ormond is still scheming, bro. He's still scheming. I don't know how he's gonna go out because obviously the show's changing a little bit of things. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he goes out. But yeah, it was a decent episode. It was a decent episode. I'd say it was better than last episode because last episode just felt a little bit like it was dragging a little bit too much, and what I mean, not a lot really happened last episode, honestly, when you look at the grand scheme of things. But yeah, man, Ormond, he's a schemer, bro. He's a schemer, but I like it. I like it a lot. So next episode is it's looking like it's gonna be just straight war, bro. It's looking like straight war. It's looking like Kristen Cole's army is gonna meet with Rhaenyra's, and it's looking like madness, bro. It's looking like madness. But overall, it was a great episode. I enjoyed it. If I had to rate it, I'd probably rate it 8.5 out of 10, light 8.5 maybe. Not like I said, there was no battles and nothing. There was just a lot of plot lines and a lot of setup. So it was a decent episode. But that's all I got for y'all today. You know what I mean? Let me know what y'all think is gonna happen next episode. Let me know what y'all think about this episode. And yeah, man, ODJ. I'll see y'all next time. God willing, God bless.